Recently, I've made a lot of videos about being an introvert and doing things alone, so now I feel like some sort of introvert expert, I don't know.
You seem like a Walmart expert.
But I like talking about this topic because in recent years, I've started to really accept that I'm a quieter person, an introvert, if you will. I should start off by saying that being introverted and like shy/antisocial are not the same thing. They're not like synonyms of one another. I'm someone, I would say that I like being around people. I'm like 40, 20, 30% shy maybe at times. Like I would say public speaking or doing something that's like a planned speech doesn't really scare me that much, but I'm just kind of socially awkward at times because I have nothing to say usually. Like I don't mind sitting in silence. Like for some people that's so uncomfortable, but I'm just like chilling, like I don't know, I'm just a chill guy, I guess. And I feel like that experience is something that like introverts and shy people go through a lot, because growing up for me, it always seemed like being an extrovert was like the goal people wanted me to live up towards because it makes extroverted people feel more uncomfortable. But in my experience, I just have no thoughts sometimes. I'm not thinking anything. I don't want to think nothing. I don't thinking anything of you. I don't want to think. And I've had experiences with people that are like very extroverted. It's always that they can't comprehend that you're quieter. And I hate it's like the worst thing you can say to someone who's quiet is, why are you so quiet? That's like the worst. That's top worst thing you could say. Why are you so quiet? It's like if I said to you like, why are you so loud? Why are you talking so much? People like that's seen as like a negative thing to say. Like, why would you say that? That's so mean. But you just said the reverse thing to me. For most of my life, my quietness has been treated like a mystery or like something that needs to be figured out. And people always assume the worst. Like people never assume like the best. It's always like, oh, they're quiet, they must be mean or intimidating, or they must be thinking something crazy. It's like, it's never like, oh, she's thinking about happiness. I don't know, which is usually the case. Your average quiet person is not thinking about like destruction. They're just thinking about nothing or everything. I feel like there's no in between. Dude. I remember I had a meeting with one of my counselors in college and they said, I seem like someone you don't want to mess with when they're mad. And I was just like, yeah, can you please sign off on my schedule so I can leave? But it had me thinking like, why is that what they think of? Like why would that, if I'm calm now, why would you think that I'd be extra mad when I'm angry? Wouldn't it be that I'm just as calm or like still calm when I'm angry? Why? I just don't understand. It's like, it's almost like, sorry, why am I getting mad? I need to calm down. People have a fantasy of what you would be like when you're being loud. Like if you're quiet, people have a loud fantasy about you. Does that make sense? I hate, it's nothing I hate more than being asked, are you shy? When I was younger, people would ask me that all the time. Like, oh, are you shy? I don't know. It's just such an awkward question. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like, why are you asking me, am I shy? It's such a like, is it redundant? I don't even know. It's just, it makes me angry. Imagine like you ask me like, are you shy? I say yes. What now? Like what now? Like what? I don't understand. I don't understand why you ask that question. I assume they're trying to gauge if you're like angry or like mad at them, but I don't know. It's just like that question has never led to a conversation. Like it has never led to like a profound discovery about another person. It's always like, yeah, and then you go on about your business, both of you. When you're a quiet kid, you get labeled so many different things because I guess people just don't know what to do with you. Like people have called me intimidating when I'm like, bro, look at me. How am I intimidating? I'm like 3 feet tall. I don't, it always baffles me when people associate quietness with like violence or anger, because like it's quite literally the opposite in my opinion, because you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything, but people associate it with like doing the most. Like I guess because people do like silent, because like immature weird people do like silent treatment, but even then it's like, I've barely said anything to you. I've just been sitting here. Why would I be mad? What do I have to be mad about? For me, the worst part about being an introvert that is on the quieter side, but not necessarily like scared to speak, is when I actually have things to say, but people like skim over me because they're like, oh, she's not gonna talk, or like she's just I used to feel very burdened by this type of thing because I thought like, well, I guess I gotta stay quiet because this is what people associate me with. But me now, I'm just like, bro, it's like if you don't talk a lot, people just automatically assume that you're incapable of speaking, I guess. And that's why you get those like, oh my god, you can talk? Like, you talk? I didn't know. It's like the dumbest thing to say. The top 5 dumbest thing to say ever. You know what I don't like though is like some quiet people have this like righteousness about being quiet where they're like, oh, I just don't talk about random stuff and like dumb stuff. I only speak when it's necessary. I talk about important things. I think that's also a weird way to think about it as well. I mean, I guess that could be true, but I just see it as like I'm just existing one way and you're existing another way. Neither of them are wrong. No one's being harmed. We're just different. Like, I enjoy listening, and I feel like it's partly because of like being Gen Z and I watch videos all the time and I'm not necessarily like talking, I'm like watching someone else talk. So I think in real life I'd be forgetting like, oh, you actually have to speak. Like, the video is actually speaking back to me. It may seem like I'm ranting or like I'm angry about this topic, which I kind of am, because remembering all these situations is making me start to tweak out. But as I've grown as a person, I've just realized that I'm a quieter gal. Honestly, whether you're loud or quiet, life keeps moving on. So there's really no reason to be like, oh, I need to speak more because that's normal, or like I need to shut up more because I talk too much. Like, either end of the stick, it doesn't really matter at all. The best thing that I've done, like growing from being a shy introverted person to like 30% shy, still introverted person, is just knowing when to advocate for myself and just speaking up more when I need to. But making it my goal to like be an extrovert is not ideal because it's just not how my brain works. Now in recent years, which I think is more so because of social media, that everything's just being amplified, but more and more people are starting to prioritize being quieter and like doing things alone, which I think is great. And I feel like at first I held some like resentment towards those people that are like super extroverted, but now they want to be quiet, live a quiet life and do all this stuff. I'm like, bro. But I think that resentment comes from me still thinking that being a louder person, being someone who's more talkative, is a strength and quietness is a weakness. And so it felt like, you know, they're getting the best of both worlds. Like, you're getting the reflection from being a quiet person and you're super talkative and like friendly and sociable. You need to die. But I you know, I never said that. I have no idea what I just talked about for like an hour because I did not write a script for this video. I just started talking. So hopefully it makes sense. I will see you next week. Bye bye.